The last beacon of galactic tailies. Special. The year was 3098. Humanity had spread across hundreds of star systems, but peace was a fragile illusion. The war with the Zelkor, an ancient alien species born in the void between galaxies, had pushed every world to the brink. Entire colonies had vanished, burned to ash by weapons powered by living energy. On the edge of the Orion frontier floated Beacon 9, the last human defense station between the galaxy and the unknown. Inside its command center, Captain Mira Solen stared at the silent stars. Her eyes reflected both exhaustion and determination. The war had taken her brother, her crew, and most of her hope, but not her will to fight. The silence was broken by a sudden alarm. "Captain, we're detecting movement," shouted Ensign Viro. Mira turned to the holomap. Thousands of red dots appeared, enemy ships emerging from hyperspace, like a storm of fireflies. The Zelkor had found them. Scene 1. The arrival. The alien fleet was colossal. Their ships resembled metallic serpents, weaving through space with terrifying grace. Beacon 9's shields flared as the first plasma blasts hit. "Returned fire. Target their lead destroyer," Mira ordered. Dozens of rail cannons roared, tearing through the void. The first wave of Zelkor ships exploded in bursts of green light, but for every one destroyed, 10 more appeared. The alien armada encircled the station, closing in like predators around a dying prey. Commander Hunomira's second-in-command approached her side. "Captain, we can't hold them off. We're outnumbered." Mira's voice was cold, but steady. "Then we make them pay for every inch." Scene 2. The battle for Beacon 9. Fighter squadrons launched from the hangar bays, darting through space like streaks of silver. The sky above the station turned into chaos. Explosions, debris, and screams overcomes. Pilot Rin Hawkdanner, the best in the fleet, led the charge. "Stay tight. Stay fast. Hit their power nodes." He dove through alien fire, blasting enemy drones into dust. But as he turned back toward the station, a massive alien cruiser fired a beam that cut through the fighter wing. Rin's ship was hit. Flames burst inside his cockpit. "Tell the captain." "It was an honor," he whispered before his ship exploded in silence. Down in the control room, Mira froze as his signal vanished. Her heart clenched, but she couldn't stop. "Reroute power to the main railguns." "We're not done yet." Scene 3. The infiltration. Suddenly, an alarm blared through the command deck. Breach detected. The Zelkor had landed boarding pods on the station's surface. Massive, insectoid soldiers with blade-like limbs stormed the corridors. Mira grabbed her pulse rifle and led the defense personally. No one gets to the core. The corridors became war zones. Bullets, plasma, and screams echoing through the steel halls. Mira's team fought bravely, but the aliens were relentless. One by one, her crew fell. Commander Juno was impaled by an alien spear, but with his dying breath, he pulled the trigger on a thermal detonator, taking 10 Zelkor with him. Mira screamed his name, then turned her rage into fire. She fought through the blood and smoke, determined to reach the control room. Scene 4. The choice. When Mira reached the reactor core, the station's AI spoke in a calm tone. "Captain, containment is failing. The reactor will overload in 6 minutes." Mira stared at the display. There was one option left: trigger the beacon protocol. It would turn the station into a supernova, destroying the entire Zelkor fleet, but she wouldn't survive. Her hands trembled. "If this is what it takes to protect Earth, then so be Italiano." She opened a channel to command. "This is Captain Mira Solen of Beacon 9. If anyone's listening, remember us. Remember that we stood our ground." As the aliens broke through the final door, she hit the switch. Scene 5. The light. The explosion was beautiful, a blinding wave of energy that consumed everything in its path. The Zelkor fleet disintegrated, their ships torn apart by the Force. For a brief moment, The darkness of space became a sea of fire. On Earth, months later, the transmission from Beacon 9 finally arrived. Mira's last message. Her voice echoed through the halls of the human command center. The stars remember our courage. Tell the next generation. Never stop fighting the dark. The council stood in silence. Then, Commander Ryan Cross from the main series whispered softly, "She bought us time, and we will use it." The camera panned out. The ruins of Beacon 9 glowing faintly in orbit. Among the debris, a single beacon light still flickered, a symbol of defiance in an endless war.